Welcome to Love and Compassion for All, selections of Tibetan Buddhism, texts by the Venerated Nyala Pema Dündul, Vegetarian, Part 2 of 2 on Words of Wisdom. Tibetan Buddhism is a religion with a rich cultural heritage that emerged from a wide range of spiritual practices. These include the complete scope of the Buddha's teachings from the Hinayana, Mahayana, and Vajrayana traditions. Different schools belonging to Tibetan Buddhism today include the Nyingma, founded by the venerated enlightened master Padmasambhava, vegetarian; Kagyu, founded by the venerated enlightened master Tilopa, vegetarian; Sakya, founded by the venerated enlightened master Konchak Gelpo, vegetarian; and his son, the venerated enlightened master Sechen Kungo Ningpo, vegetarian; and Gelug, founded by the venerated enlightened master Dzongkhapa Lobsang Drakpa, vegetarian. The teachings of Tibetan Buddhism focus on mindfulness of death and the ephemeral nature of life, leading to diligence in meditation and spiritual practice. Mandalas, prayer flags, and Thangka paintings are visual reminders for practitioners on the path. The Master Nyala Pema Dündul, vegetarian, was born in 1816. The blessed child was identified at the age of 7 as the reincarnation of the Kathak treasure revealer Rizing Loksal Lingpo. He became a famous teacher of Dzogchen and Tantric Buddhism in eastern Tibet, traveling widely to many places, giving teachings and empowerment at many centers and monasteries. In his work, Song of Advice for Giving Up Meat Eating, he emphasized the perils that animal flesh eating has on one's spiritual practice and the negative karmic effects it brings. At the end of his life in 1872, the master had attained the rainbow body, the supreme realization of Dzogchen, by dissolving his earthly body into light at the time of his leaving this world. Let us continue with excerpts from the venerated Master Nyala Pema Dündul's work, Song of Advice for Giving Up Meat Eating. Song of Advice for Giving Up Meat Eating. For every mother, sentient being, as infinite in number as space is vast, I made the following vow, true according to the 2 levels of reality. Aho, mighty sage Sakyamuni, and all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas throughout the whole of space and time, have compassion for this child who knew nothing of cause and effect. Hosts of gracious root and lineage masters care for me. Have compassion for this child who knew nothing of cause and effect. Supreme Eden Deity, mighty Avalokitesvara, care for me. Have compassion for this child who knew nothing of cause and effect. Overwhelmed by ignorance and the 2 obscurations, I have often spoken of how all infinite beings have been our parents, and while living off their flesh, lectured about cause and effect. I had no idea that the suffering involved was so great. For my part, I have no instruction more profound than altruistic love and compassion, and the infallibility of cause and effect, to purify all the faults and obscurations of eating flesh among all sentient beings who extend throughout the whole of space. From this moment on, I completely renounce the eating of flesh. This is my unfailing commitment, which I shall never forsake. Even if all the animals upon this earth were to be devoured, there would still be no satisfaction. Hunger would only continue to increase. Deprived of food or drink for just a few days, we feel as if we have never tasted even so much as a single morsel or drop before. Now is the time to escape this demon, hunger. What, after all, is the cause of this flesh? It springs only from self-clinging and attachment. Merely to think of it makes me very nauseated. This utterly unappetizing mound of mess and filth, bound up with the 36 impure substances, a body of habitual patterns and aggregates, is the basis for all suffering. Each animal has its own negative actions, and whoever eats the flesh of such beings will find it hard to win liberation. Meat and alcohol are impure substances, and to offer them does not count as generosity, the Buddha said. Who therefore would eat this food of the afflictions? Pretas must live for many thousands of human years without seeing food or drink, enduring only suffering, but we human beings gladly drink even ice-cold water, and have plenty to sustain us besides meat and alcohol. If we are still not satisfied by such delights, how could we repay past kindnesses so unfairly? Throughout the course of countless aeons past, in every world within this universe so vast, there is not a single being who has not been our mother, and the milk we drank from maternal breasts would fill a billion seas. I abandon all pretense. Let the 3 jewels be my witness. In the past, under the sway of ignorance and habit, I ate my parents' flesh and did not remorsefully confess. Now with pure moderation and the 4 powers complete, as in the saying, I was not, am not, and will not be attached. Henceforth may the thought of eating meat never even cross my mind. Should I ever fail, let the 3 jewels send their punishment. May the protectors and guardians constantly keep watch. Were I now to eat the flesh of my past mothers, there would be no greater transgressor in all the 3 realms. The Buddha said that harming others even slightly impairs one's vows. So what need is there to mention flesh eating, which involves taking life? In the Parinirvana Sutra, Lankavatara, and elsewhere it is said that eating meat is tantamount to killing. It is forbidden in both the greater and lesser vehicles, but is particularly unacceptable for bodhisattvas. Our teacher himself, when he appeared as a partridge's young and as a ferocious creature in the wild, would not eat meat. How then could we, his followers, ever do so? In accordance with the guidance of the victorious one, there were many great masters in India and Tibet who gave up meat. As all this shows, the faults of meat eating are unimaginably vast. Not cultivating negativity is itself genuine dharma. So may I always comply with the authentic teaching. Having seen the boundless faults that come from eating meat, even the thought of it is as nauseating as poison. And so I, the great beggar with the name of Dündul, compose these words of advice to encourage my own renunciation. In the sky fortress, hermitage of white rock. As a result of this virtue, may all sentient beings purify all the faults and obscurations that come from eating meat, so that they may see the 1,000 Buddhas face to face. For more information, please visit lotavahouse.org.
Vegetarianism is becoming worldwide. We are not speaking of forced vegetarianism. That doesn't count. We are speaking of vegetarians who have adopted the humane diet because of a sense of justice to animals. Lucy A. Mallory, vegetarian.